Hello students, today we are going to start with a new experiment, that is experiment number 9, to install and configure Nagios tool for enterprise infrastructure monitoring. Right? If you see the Nagios tool for enterprise infrastructure monitoring, whenever we started with our DevOps experiments, the first experiment is your case study on DevOps life cycle, right? So in this life cycle you already studied what are the different phases or what are the different models, right? So in that the last phase is the monitor, right? So whenever you have then in any type of the infrastructure and you need to check whether that particular infrastructure any flaws, right? If you need to check any what is the current situation of days, current situation of computing power of that particular system or node, to that you can check or that you can monitor with the help of this particular tool called it as Nagios tool, right? So here whenever we talking about the IT infrastructure, the infrastructure it comes up with all the things including your memory, your CPU, your disk, your different services, your different applications, right? So all the whole IT infrastructure can be monitored with the help of this Nagios tool. So we will see how to check this particular or how to monitor this particular thing, right? So in that there is again a one service is called as NRPE, that is nothing but Nagios remote plugin executor. This is one add-on service which we need to install or need to configure on our client machine or our second machine which we want to monitor. For example, here in this diagram there are two systems. For example, this one is the first, that is Nagios monitoring server, one system, and the second system is your remote host, that the system which you want to monitor by using this Nagios server, right? So what happened when the NRP runs on this particular system, right? Is daemons is run, right? So daemons is nothing but here the system processes which always runs at the background, right? It will be waiting for the Nagios request, right? For example, Nagios now wants to monitor this particular host, then it will be request to this particular server or specifically this particular NRP services. Then this NRP services which will be running in background as a daemon process, it will be accept the request and then it will be check the status of any resources or any application of the remote host and send the command signal, right? And which be stored in NRP services, and then NRP takes Nagios request service and then execute the command on this particular local system itself and it sends the result is back to your Nagios server, that is your first system, right? Understood? So what happened when the Nagios server is requesting to this particular host, in this particular host NRP services is already running, it is in background, it is a daemon process. Whenever the request comes from the server, it will accept it, it will be checked at it locally, then the result will be sent back to this Nagios server, right? So now we will see how to configure and how to install this Nagios as well as this NRP services on two systems, right? The prerequisite for it, as it is Nagios is nothing but a GUI tool, right? So whatever the information, whatever the monitoring you need to do, it will be displayed in your GUI, right? So for GUI purposes, what we need to do, we need some essential component we need, that is obviously a web server, Apache, we need PHP, we need to install these particular packages first of all. Then here we dedicatedly create one user as Nagios, so sudo add user space Nagios, so one dedicatedly Nagios user can be created in your system. Then after that what we will do, I will add this particular Nagios and this particular Apache services to my Nagios user, right? So how to do that? So by using sudo user mode -a space -g for group to this particular Nagios, right? Similarly I can just add it Apache group Nagios to your Apache group as well, right? And after that we need to install this Nagios core services into your one system, that is nothing but you are the admin, right? So I'm going to install it in /opt directory, right? So by using obviously from their official site, so sudo space wget and the link of that particular Nagios tool, that is I'm using the version 4.4.2, that is the latest version, right? So this star.gz is nothing but the compress file, so we need to uncompress it by using a terminal, by using the command, that is a sudo space star xzf and the that particular tool's name, right? And after extraction, the folder would be created into your system, and we need to just move towards this Nagios 4-4.4.3, and after that you need to just by using the configure command, you need to configure this particular daemon of this Nagios tool, that is nagcmd, which is a group, which is in group, and by using this you need to install all the components which are there in Nagios tool by using make command. So sudo space make all, make install init, that is initialization, then daemon initialization, then configuration, then command mode of the Nagios and the exfoliation, right? So all these things you need to install by using this make command, right? And after this now you need to, what you need to do here, you need to copy the event handler scripts under the libexcc directory, right, which provides the binaries with multiple event triggers for your Nagios web interface. Means what, here you need to copy cp space -r, capital R is nothing but for your directory, right, which is event handler is resides in your contrib folder in that particular Nagios. So just move to this particular folder and you need to copy all the event handlers to the which directory, this lib executable directory, right? So where it is in user local Nagios libexcc directory, right? And after this you need to provide ownership to this particular Nagios user to the Nagios group. So again chown command we will use for providing ownership to whole directory, that's why here -r I am writing. So libexcc, then event handlers, which we just copied into this libexcc, we need to provide the ownership here, right? And now after that we need to configure our Apache server, right, for for our Nagios GUI purpose, right? So you know already all the configuration files are reset in which folder, in etc folder, right? So you need to go to etc/apache2 conf available, then under that you need to create one file, that is your Nagios config.conf. This is the conf file of your Nagios, right? So into that you need to provide some options. Okay, the options are already written here. Also you need to provide the authentication for accessing that particular GUI of Nagios, right? And for that purpose we are using here the etc htpassword.users as well. We will provide this by using a terminal command line. So sudo htpassword space -c, this particular path of user password users, and what is the username I am providing here, the username is Nagios admin, right? By clicking by the enter, you it will be asked you the password, then you need to provide the password here, that is 123456 I am giving. That will be required later. Then you need, after configuration of Apache, you need to restart the Nagios and Apache services. Then by using this you need to restart it, and yes, after that you need to install some additional add-ons, plugins, okay, which will be required to run Nagios smoothly. So again in same folder, that is /opt, I am going to install some Nagios plugins. So from official site only, Nagios plugins 2.2.1 version I am downloading, and again extracting by using xzf command, and then again I'm going to this particular plugin folder, that is cd space Nagios plugin folder. Then here again I am installing it by, or configuring it by /configure command, right? And again I am using make command for installing that particular plugins. So by using sudo space make space install, I am just installing that plugin. Then I am just verifying that plugin whether it will be our Nagios configuration is correctly configured or not, and for that purpose I am using the path of that particular Nagios, the user local Nagios bin Nagios -v space again the configuration file of your Nagios which is resides in your etc, that is etc nagios.cfg, right? And after all these things, what we need to do, we need to start the services of Nagios in order to use. So it's a command for that, that is the command sudo space service nagios start. So our you will find in terminal the OK is there, that means the service of your Nagios will be started. Right now you are able to access this particular Nagios monitoring tool via the web browser web interface, and for that there is localhost /Nagios you can do. If you click on this, right, it will be asked you the username and password which we have set for as a ht password /users, and my user is Nagios admin and the password is again 123456. Right, so you will get and the GUI of your Nagios, right? So this is nothing but GUI of your Nagios. So we will just I will give you the quick overview of how it will be seen and what are the different functionalities of Nagios here. For example, if you go to the host, okay, now the host is right now it is nothing but your local host, right? That means this particular system, okay, and after that we will add one particular host which you need to monitor it, and after that adding a host, you will find here the second row and nothing but the IP address of that second host which you need to monitor, right? We will see how to add a host into this particular Nagios for monitoring purpose later, right? Then there are different services. What are the different services? HTTP, ping, root, SSH, swap, uses on localhost. What are the different services are currently started? Okay, status is also okay, right? That is also you can find out status information, right? Then the duration, right? Then problems, if you have any problem in this particular host, then that problem is also listed here, right? Then if any network outage is there or any, then if you find out the report of any availability of the systems, right? So you can just check the host group. I'm just clicking on host group, then continue all host group. I want to take a report, then create availability report. Then you will find out here localhost, time uptime, downtime, right? Time unreachable and time undetermined. Likewise you can check it for other hosts as well whenever we will add into this particular. So you can monitor the particular host is at what duration it will be up and what duration it will be down, it is unreachable, undetermined, all the things you can see here in terms of the report, right? So you can change, you can customize it according to your need, right? You can update it, okay, and you will find it here, right? Then alerts, right? Alerts also you can see the warning messages comes, load averages comes, right? The day wise, time wise, all the alerts is shown here. You will find out the summary as well. You can create a report of this that particular availability reports and alerts reports, right? Then downtime, okay, you if you want to schedule a downtime for that particular host in order to monitor that particular host, then you can schedule it also from here, right? Then process information, right? From here also the process commands are there. From here also you can able to change it, monitor it, okay? Then current load services, yes, the specific information of each and every host you can find it from here, right? So you will see here, view the information for this particular host, detail of this host, alert history for this host, train of the host, histogram for that particular services, right? If you go to the histogram, okay, I just find out the service, for example current load, okay, time period is last 7 days, fine, okay. So you will find out here the histogram is also generated, right? Recovery time, warning time, unknown, critical, what is the event of that particular host, that will also see here, right? So this is all about the overview of this particular Nagios tool, okay, you will find out various link shortcuts available here, right? You can now start your monitoring infrastructure, so it will be go to your, it will be tends to your nagios.com, right? So there are some helps also there, support also there, for documentation is also there in general tab. If you have some queries, you can find out from this documentation tab is also, right? So this is all about your Nagios web interface, right? Now this one. So now we will see how to add a host into your Nagios infrastructure, right, by using nrpe. So for that we need to first of all install the nrpe in Nagios plugin. And what's the command for that? Sudo apt install Nagios nrpe server space Nagios plugin, right? After that, again you will know, after installation, the configuration file of that particular services is available in your configuration folder. So sudo space nan etc nagios slash nrpe cfg. Okay, so now here what we need to do is, there is an one field that is called allowed host. In this, by default one local host address is given. Now my host address, that means my second system which we need to monitor, the address of that particular system is here 192.168.64.3, right? Now we need to add it here, the my Nagios host address as well, right? Why? Because we need to given the permission to my Nagios server to monitor this particular host, which is 192.168.64.30. That's why in allowed host we need to make an entry of my server's IP as well, right? So my server's IP here, add a here 192.168.100 to as an Nagios server IP in order to allow connection from server to our target system. This target system we need to monitor, right? So here you need to make an entry comma this 192.168.100, which is your Nagios server IP, right? I just forgot to add it here, so that's why I'm creating one editable link here. So you need to add it here comma 192.168.100, right? After this you need to restart the services of Nagios in our, because we have configured nrpe, so we need to restart this particular Nagios nrpe server. And we need to now check it from our Nagios server whether this particular nrpe is accessible or not. So slash user Nagios libexcc check nrpe -h is for host and the IP address of my target system which we need to monitor, right? So it will be gives you the version of your nrpe. That means this particular host having this nrpe version which is 2.15, right? You will get in this particular output. Then we need to add this that particular host into our Nagios, right? So again we need to configure that particular thing. So how to do this? Again go to sudo space nano slash user local Nagios etc server. So here I am adding one of the configuration of my server or one of the configuration of my host which we need to monitor. Okay, so I am giving here the name of that particular server is my linux host 001.cfg. This is configuration file of that particular my linux host, right? Now here I just need to change the address of the that particular server which we need to monitor. So which is nothing but here 192.168.64.30 64.3. This is nothing but my target host that we need to monitor, right? And also the host name is which name? The linux host 001, the linux host 001, right? Here is also linux host 001 we need to monitor, right? And after that you need to check the verification whether the configuration file is correctly configured or not. So for that purpose I am using this command sudo space Nagios space -v etc Nagios dot configuration of that particular Nagios file, and then again I will just sudo space service Nagios restart. So it will be restarted my Nagios services. Then again in web browser open your Nagios web browser and check for new linux host added in your Nagios or not. So for that purpose again you need to go to your Nagios, you need to log in with your Nagios, you need to go to this particular host file. Okay, so right now I don't have the second machine, so that's why that particular system is not hosted here, but how it will be look like. So for our second row you will be see here the Linux second machine, then the IP address of that system is nothing but we have seen 192.168.64.3, and the status of that must be a up, right? So this is nothing but the how this particular monitoring part of the DevOps life cycle can be used with the help of this Nagios and NRPE, right? So you need to keep in mind this particular flow of the Nagios, how internally it will be works, you need to know, right? Because only the installation and configuration and running and take the output is not the thing, but how it internally it will be work, how Nagios can be sent a request, how remote host can be accepted, how it can be acknowledged to his request. Okay, this is also you must be know, right? So this is all about your experiment number 9, the Nagios tool for enterprise infrastructure and monitoring. Hope you will understand it. Thank you.